So this intensity, you actually see it reflected in the goddesses. So research, the birth goddesses, and you find out they're also the goddesses of death. So what about birth encapsulates all of creation, birth and death, meeting your creator, being a part of creation, being the creator, and danger, this wildness, the unknowing, the challenge. The fiercest goddesses also reigned over life. So this is an interesting thing to think about when you're looking at your birth as an initiation, as a spiritual initiation, and as an initiation into motherhood. That all of these earthy, transformational, wild, scary, all these elements are going to be present, and that really is the juiciness of this process of the labor path. Your journey can also be likened to hiking a mountain, let's say. I think that this analogy really helps from a Western standpoint, because we're so used to honoring athletes for doing really hard things. The just do it mentality of the Nike ads, the idea of, no pain, no gain, feel the burn. There's so much reverence for athletes who push forward and lean into the challenge, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual challenge. And we see this reverence again, like I said, in initiations that men are participating in to, become men, or to join secret societies, or to become shamans. And so if we look at ourselves like, the baby's first guru and like shamamas, we can see that this is an opportunity to utilize the really intense challenges, to our spiritual benefit. And hiking a mountain is a great one to think about as you're exploring what this means for you, to see your birth as a process, as a path, as a journey, and as an initiation. Now, you wouldn't go hiking the Himalayas unprepared. What would you do? How would you prepare for something like that? You'd do research, you'd train, you'd physically get yourself into a place where you knew that you could handle such a task. And you might hike smaller mountains, to get a feel for the pressure and the challenges that would be placed upon you. So you'd build yourself, up to this point where you felt like you were ready. And still, when you began that journey, you'd still not know if you were 100% ready. You'd still have to, make that dive over the abyss and just go for it. But hiking a mountain is great because similarly, there's all these hard parts to the path, hard parts to the journey. And like any good adventure, it's really only when you have something that challenges you that's, worth a story later. If it all went really easily, where's your story? Where's the fun in that kind of? It's about the process, what you went to go through this experience to get to this other side. And when it comes to mountain climbing, the summit is that other side. You get to the top and you see, you're at the peak and you see something that only people that have made that same physical challenge, that leap of faith, get to see. And similarly, the way you feel when you've birthed your own baby naturally and in an empowered way, the feeling is immeasurable. It's not something that you can ever buy. The richest person does not have access to this, just like the richest person does not have access to the top of the Himalayas. There's only one way to get up there. And similarly, there's only one way to get through, birth, is to do it. Now, I believe that the birth journey doesn't always have to be a natural journey. However, the natural process has tons of benefits and is going to give you this physical initiation, and it's the most optimal experience. Granted, sometimes that's not the spiritual journey that we need at this point in time. So being truly empowered in your birth and being able to listen and having a supportive group around you to know when you're shifting from your first, birth plan to maybe the emergency plan, and instilling the act of magic in that emergency plan, because we're so grateful for the times when the technology that we have today can save a mother. And I do believe that that is also part of the miraculous birth journey. So hiking the mountain doesn't necessarily mean only natural, but I do strongly believe that the natural birth will give you so many, magical feedback and experience, and will truly provide a physical initiation that is different, of course, than having a medicalized birth. However, if it saves your life, a medicalized birth is awesome. So learning to honor what is and being okay with how our path unfolds, and knowing that we've stepped up to the challenge, we met it with our strongest, fiercest self. This is all the initiation. And so I will just end this with, a little bleep that we found from a hiking magazine that represents a really great way of viewing how to approach birth. And it's just a little hiking mantra, and it goes like this: awaken my senses in order that I can enjoy the splendor of the mountain. It's so simple. So whatever birth you have, just awaken your senses to it, open up to it, be prepared, be educated, be emboldened, be empowered, and just enjoy the splendor of the mountain.